All right, guys, today we've got to react to a couple videos that are going super viral all over the internet. Isaiah Martin, who is a Texas Democrat who previously ran for Congress, went on Jubilee to debate a bunch of MAGA individuals. And there are several clips, of Isaiah going unbelievably viral. He has gained like 400,000 Instagram followers in the last 5 days just because of this virality. These clips are so good. I actually haven't gotten an opportunity to watch them yet, so we're going to live react. I have 3 of them pulled up. We're going to react together and talk about them. I also want to point out, Isaiah is one of my best friends. I look up to Isaiah Martin so much, such a smart guy, so I will leave links in the description to all of Isaiah Martin's social media. And before we get started, remember, make sure you hit like and subscribe down below, and you can listen or watch this show on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. I will leave a link in the description to Spotify. All right, let's start with this clip. Again, I haven't watched these. This one is 4 minutes long, titled 4 Minutes of Straight Belt to Ass. Let's take a look.
So let me ask you a question. What would be the purpose of enacting tariffs on a country like Canada?
On Canada, well, you want to protect certain industries, and Canada also has a lot of tariffs on the United States, and to get them to have a trade agreement with the United States on that. I don't think it's.
Didn't we have free trade? I don't think Canada?
It's a. I don't know. I don't think.
What was the United States Mexico Canada agreement?
Yeah, that wasn't in effect when Donald Trump took office.
Who negotiated the United States Mexico Canada agreement?
Look, I don't think it is not a good thing.
Who negotiated?
It's not a good.
Do you know what it is?
It is not a.
Do you know what it is? You don't know what it is, do you?
Yes, I
explain it.
Yeah, it was a trade agreement between the United States that overturned the previous NAFTA agreement.
And so, what did it do?
It established the parameters.
So who negotiated it?
It was Donald Trump.
So Donald Trump negotiated the USMCA.
Yeah. We need to
free trade agreement that was governing over the United States. It wasn't
free trade. We need to renegotiate these trade agreements.
What does NAFTA stand for?
North American Free Trade Agreement. That's what.
So.
Bro. Okay, this is already so good. Isaiah Martin got this guy boxed so badly. Again, we always hear that, we need to implement these tariffs on specifically our partners to the north and south, destroy our relationship with them, because whoever did the last agreement, just like we were getting screwed over. It's like the person who did the last agreement was Donald J. Trump. Nobody seems to realize that or know or care. Insane.
It was before Donald Trump.
Like free trade.
Yeah, again, that was before. That wasn't in effect when Donald Trump took over.
And so then yes, it was. And so, first of all, the USMCA was effectively the same thing as NAFTA.
No way.
And so what changed?
I mean, the trade parameters changed, but like I said, I don't think it's a good thing.
Name one.
What do you mean?
What changed?
I mean, for starters, lumber. The way that we trade lumber with Canada changed.
How?
I don't know the actual intricacies of the USMCA, but what I will say is I don't think it's a good thing.
So we have free trade with Canada.
I don't think it's a good thing when countries like.
So why did you go and put tariffs on a country that we had free trade with? What gets better than free?
Well, I guess with Canada, there's also the.
I mean, I didn't know that.
There's also the added part.
There's
also the added part with Canada that they were spreading propaganda into the United States, which isn't a good thing. That we have an ally spreading propaganda into the United States.
That has nothing to do with what.
Yes, it is.
I'm just asking you.
Tariffs are a means.
Why did you put tariffs on a country that we had free trade with? It was free.
Yeah, because they're pumping propaganda into the United States.
Oh my God, this guy is getting eviscerated so badly, it's actually hard to watch. How did he move to propaganda, getting pushed in the United States? I don't even know what I cannot possibly imagine what he's talking about. Look how calm Isaiah Martin is right here. He's just, go ahead, please, answer my questions. I love this kid. He's like genuinely one of my good friends. I talk to Isaiah all the time on the phone. Martin, I know you're probably watching this video. I love you. Keep up the good work, man. You're killing it.
We're pumping propaganda into the United States? How?
What do you mean, how?
How?
It's like during the World Series, Canada propaganda to the United States. Of course we're going to put tariffs on them for that.
They showed a commercial of Ronald Reagan in his own words.
Yeah,
so that means
we shouldn't have other countries
wait a second.
Allies come in and wait a second.
So you just made Americans pay more for everything that comes from Canada because they showed a commercial you didn't like? That sounds like being a snowflake, if you ask me.
We should be holding our allies accountable.
Why are conservatives so sensitive?
The United States of America.
This is what happens when you have conservative government. They're so sensitive. They're over here raising your prices because they had a commercial that you don't like.
What do you mean? Tariffs don't raise prices. There was just a study from, I believe, Use Chicago that came out that tariffs actually don't raise the prices of goods.
Why would you go?
Wait, I want to see this Jubilee fact track. See, this is Jubilee. We're going to zoom in together. I've always had some problems with Jubilee and their fact checking. I'm curious what this says. From the December 2025 University of Chicago study on tariff independence, quote, on one hand, shipping lags, exemptions, and enforcement gaps have kept the actual implemented rates at only half of the statutory rates, moderating the tariff's impact. On the other hand, ... Yeah, so that sounds pretty much like not what he said. It's definitely, there's probably some middle ground here about how much tariffs are actually, how much of that price is actually being pushed onto the consumer, but it's certainly not what this guy just said.
Put tariffs on a country we had free FREE trade with.
I think that we have a strategic advantage of having our lumber industry here in the United States. I don't want to be reliant upon Canada for lumber.
To go and achieve that aim.
Yeah, it makes it more expensive for imports to come to the United States so that businesses can relocate back to America.
So now if you're disagreeing.
This poor guy is getting eviscerated. Like, it is actual evisceration. I just want to go back one more time. Look at this. We got another Jubilee fact check. Another study analyzing $4 trillion in international shipping orders shows American importers, thus American consumers, pay for 96% of tariff costs, while foreign exporters pay approximately 4% of the cost. Yeah, that's a Jubilee fact check I could actually get behind. And look, there's a couple more seconds of this video, but I think we get the idea here. This poor guy getting put into a box. And now we have another individual. This is probably the most viral clip of all of them. 4 minutes of permanent grill marks. And this guy is some like weirdo conservative influencer. Let's take a watch.
Barack Obama, the greatest president that ever was, and I said,
did I say that?
Do you endorse his drone strikes? Yes, you did.
I said he was a great president.
So you think killing civilians makes somebody a great president?
So do you think Donald Trump was a great president?
I think he's doing a pretty good job compared to other people.
So you think a pretty good president is someone who had more drone strikes than Barack Obama?
I don't endorse drone strikes. No, I don't.
So it's almost like that's a wash then.
We're stuck in the same point. We're going around. I feel like we're going around in circles. Let's just take it back for a second.
Because it didn't work out for you. That's kind of how that went.
Yeah, you can frame it however you want, but that's not actually what
I don't think libs of TikTok
are people
like this one.
I think the people at home can see a lot better that you hate America and that you really proved my point for me. You literally said that you have a problem with me wearing this suit
you're dressed
where
like
I have
Trump.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, we're going.
This guy is such a loser. What are you talking about, Isaiah? This Isaiah Martin, and again, knowing him personally, I don't know that I know of anyone else in my circle who cares about this country more than Isaiah Martin. Isaiah cares a lot. So this guy is a loser. And also he's making fun of how this guy's dressed because he's literally dressed just like Trump. They bow down to the king. Like it's what a weirdo.
Back in circles. I'm trying to move the conversation forward. It's got nothing to do. I could argue about this for my whole life, but I think the good people at home would rather see something different.
Yeah, so I'd pivot too if I were you. It's not working out well for you.
Okay. You can say whatever you want to save your ego. Here's the thing, okay? Prove to me that you don't hate America. I gave you a bunch of data. Show one piece of policy from Democrats that's been good for the working class.
You asked me to prove whether or not.
That is so easy. Joe Biden passed more fiscal legislation than any administration in the last 7 decades. And a couple of those pieces of legislation, I know Isaiah is going to say something along these lines, but the largest infrastructure bill since Eisenhower is like $1.3 trillion to fix our roads and bridges and highways. How about the PACT Act, which gave veterans health insurance if they were affected by toxic burn pits abroad? A lot of those toxic burn pits causing cancer. 1.1 or 1 million veterans roughly signed up in their first year. I don't see Donald Trump passing any massive legislation for veterans. I don't see Donald Trump passing bipartisan infrastructure bills in his first term, even though he said he was, or in his second term. An American Rescue Plan that was $1.7 trillion. That was the largest funding, I believe, of public education ever in U.S. history. Someone can fact check that for me, but I'm pretty sure I'm accurate on that one. A CHIPS Act, $280 billion, giving businesses tax cuts to bring their manufacturing to the United States, essentially using capitalism to incentivize these businesses to build their chips in the United States. And under the CHIPS Act, our goal was to have 30% of the world's share of chips by 2030. Right now we have 0%. And we actually had companies agree to come to the United States and start building these chips, building these manufacturing plants, and giving Americans jobs. I remind you, under Donald Trump, we have lost manufacturing jobs for, I think, 13 straight months, or 14, 12. It's something around there. So those are a couple of great examples. Let's see what Isaiah Martin says, because I already know he's going to cook.
Well, I love America. I love America.
No. That's not what I asked you. That is not what I asked you.
You wanted me to prove
I asked for one piece of policy.
My grandparents worked their entire lives.
Look, the Democrat Party.
I love
the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is one of the most dishonest, self-serving parties in the history of this country. Well, it's been like this forever. Okay, Ilhan Omar got into office. Okay, so defend Ilhan Omar. She got into office with a negative net worth of $45,000. She's worth $60 million now.
I'm not here to talk about
AOC just went on a Stop the Oligarchy tour.
Wait a second.
Spent $50,000 on luxury hotels and Bad Bunny concerts. How is that loving America?
Wait a second. I just want to make sure that something's clear.
No, just explain that to me. No, now you're trying to pivot. You're trying to pivot.
I just want to make sure this is right. You're trying to say that someone increasing their net worth
in Congress,
in government per se, is indicative of someone who doesn't care about America, right?
I think enriching yourself on the backs of Americans when you're there to serve is inherently dishonest, corrupt, and it is anti-American.
You think so?
Yeah.
How much has Donald Trump's net worth increased since he's been the president?
I know that he spent, for a fact, over $600 million in wrongful lawsuits that were brought by Letitia James and all of these crazy Democrats in the judicial.
How much?
How much what?
How much has his net worth increased since he's been president in 2025?
Well, you tell me.
$3.3 billion.
He also had to spend.
I also want to point out this Jubilee fact check says it could be as high as 3.9 billion. So Isaiah Martin just straight cooking. This guy literally admitted live on camera. Isaiah Martin made this guy admit that Donald Trump is dishonest and doesn't care about America by his own standards. Donald Trump's net worth has exploded this administration because he sells shoes, he sells Bibles, he sells phones. A lot of these things are a disaster. The phones haven't even shipped. It's been like over a year. The Bibles are what the hell. He's launching cryptocurrencies, right? He launched this Trump coin that's down like 98% year to date. Melania coin down 98% year to date, but they make money off all those trading fees. Like, he is making an exorbitant amount of money off the backs of the American people.
He also had to spend $600 million. He also had to spend $600 million on these lawsuits that you guys, frivolous lawsuits that you guys are bringing up.
Has made more money off the
He's been an independent businessman his entire life. He still owns golf courses. His son Eric made more than him. His son Eric still runs the golf courses.
So if your own logic is that making money in public office is indicative of someone who hates America, I would say the guy who's made more than anybody else in the history of America probably hates America, right?
This is an absolutely false equivalence.
That's not how that works, did it?
This is an absolutely false equivalence.
That didn't work out well for you.
This is a false...
Fried. Literally put in the deep fryer. This guy right here, I don't know this guy's name. He has no idea what's going on. He is so out of his element. It's actually hard to describe. All right, let's go to the last clip here. These are so good. Isaiah asked Republicans why we haven't gotten our Trump checks on Jubilee. This is going to be a good one because there's so many issues that I swear to God, these people don't talk about anymore. Remember when the whole thing from every Republican you ever talked to, hey, how's Trump? Good, I love Doge. That was dominating the news cycles. And every Trump supporter is like, Doge, we're going to get a Doge check. We're going to slash government spending, the fraud, the wait. What happened to that? The answer is it fell apart, and we actually spent more money on Doge than any type of savings. And these figures that people come out with, 2 billion, 3 billion, 4 billion, it's nothing. It's literally, in terms of our entire GDP, if we could erase $100 billion from fraud, waste, and abuse from the U.S. government tomorrow, I don't think anybody would really notice. And Doge, by every single metric, not only was a failure, but actually costs more than any type of savings. It also got a bunch of people killed because we were, ripping apart healthcare funding and USAID funding.
Your $2,000 Doge check?
From the tariffs?
From Doge, as a result of all the spending that was supposed to happen. There was supposed to be a $2,000 Doge check. Did you get that?
No, but they haven't said anything about that.
Have they introduced something for that?
Who said that they were supposed to do that?
That's what
I know we're supposed to be getting.
That we'd be getting a check in the mail.
But no, but you guys went into this not letting him do what he came there to do.
So you control
Why
the
would
House,
anyone want fraud to be continued?
and the White
if it's
House.
When I brought up California because it's happening in this government, why is it happening over there? What do you mean?
You control the House, the Senate, and the White House.
Okay.
And you still couldn't get it done?
How could anyone work like that, honestly?
Having all three?
You guys did not let the guy
having
do
the
anything.
House, the
He's
Senate,
a Nazi,
and the White House?
You villainized him 24/7.
You control it all.
Let
me ask you a question.
You don't, I'm sorry, but if there's people doing fraud in the government, you don't want to know about it?
How does a bill become a law? Do you know?
Goes through Congress.
And so then what? It has to go through both chambers of Congress.
Okay.
It has to go to the president.
Yes, and then
who has the majority in the Senate?
We do.
Who has a majority in the House?
We do. But what does that have to do with Doge?
Who is in the White House? What party is in the White House?
The Republicans.
So it's almost like you can do anything you want. They managed to pass tax cuts for the richest people in America, but they didn't manage to go get the checks that they promised the American people.
When did they promise?
So it's almost like
they're not even
that just
done yet.
didn't happen
But
whatsoever.
they're not even done yet, and no one said boo.
Because here's what's so interesting about conservatives.
Yes.
Is that you run on all of these different things, and then the second you don't do them, you expect that people will not hold you accountable.
Dude, so, I mean, absolute evisceration, so good from Isaiah Martin. And it's crazy. This is the most frustrating thing to me. She says, oh, you guys villainize him. It's so interesting, the dynamic of Trump supporters. Either Donald Trump has this giant mandate. He is the king. He can do literally anything. He's there to root out the deep state. If there is some win for, the American public, it's all because of Trump. He can do literally no wrong. He is the master negotiator. He can make one phone call and end wars, apparently, which didn't happen. But then as soon as that doesn't happen, as soon as they have the mandate, the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and it doesn't happen, it's like it's not his fault. It's somebody else's fault. It's actually just like, how can he get anything done in this environment? What environment? You have this giant mandate. You have the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And up to this point, as I record this video on Tuesday, February 10th, 2026, Donald Trump has passed less legislation than any president up to this point in 70 years. They've done nothing. All he's done is sign executive orders while he's tried to expand, executive authority. He's ripped apart the government, certainly in that way. But anything good for the American people, any legislation hasn't been done. Listen, I will leave links to Isaiah Martin's social media in the description down below. Great job. Let me know what you think of these reaction videos. I really enjoy making them. Make sure you subscribe, hit like down below, and I will see you in the next video.